Hey guys, how you doing? This is Manga, etc. And I'm here today to bring you the review for Vamp the Lost Soul manga chapter number 8. Yeah, that's 8 things. But yeah, I'm here today to bring you the review for Vamp the Lost Soul manga chapter number 8. Excuse my phone, we're not going to look at that, we're going to continue. So things start off right where chapter 7 left off, just in case you don't remember where that left off. Was in the middle of the fight between what's his name, Nika, or I just call him Nick for short, and Jimino. I've never been able to pronounce that name, so for the sake of my reviews, I've always referred to him as Old English or James. I'm going to stick with James for now because that sounds just James. But yeah, let's get a bit serious now. So this chapter was the wrapping up of that fight, and we found out, no, that was not James. It was in fact a droid. And I'm going to talk about the droid a little bit more later on, but I just want to talk about the fact that this wasn't James. And that it made when I read this chapter, I was like, this makes so much sense because earlier on, I can't remember what chapter it was exactly, 6, maybe 5, maybe. It was said that James cannot get to the place where they are, Valada, I think it's called, easily. So when he turned up out of the blue in the like 7th and 6th chapter, I was like, huh? That don't make no sense. How did he get there? But we find out it's not in fact James, it is an ink droid named Indra. I think it was called Indra. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called Indra. But we find out about this droid. So the first thing I just want to mention about this droid is that it is genderless. It is neither boy or female. I don't know why that is, but I know it just automatically made me think of Frieza when I was a child back in the day. There was always debating whether it's Frieza a boy or a girl, and it seems like we're gonna get this with Inkdra. We had in this chapter Nick referring to it as a boy, and me personally, in my personal opinion, just the way that it carries itself and how it's just acting within this chapter, it just threw off a girl vibe to me. Like if it had to be in a gender, seeing as how it's genderless, would be a girl. But yeah, we have that. So we also find out that this ink droid was created by Kaz. Now, from back in the day, the early chapters from Volume 1, I always thought Kaz was smart and some sort of scientist. I assume this because that thing that blew up James, that looks very high tech. If you look at a picture of Kaz, she's got that blaster and her boots, they look high tech. So I thought either she was part of a family of just great inventors or she was doing some serious inventing herself. And it seems like I'm right because she invented Inkdra using the DNA of an ink mutant, I think it was. She was able to create this droid. Now, I think I had the little thought to myself, well, why ink? But then again, that could be broken down into ink as in a pen. You can use a pen to draw. You can draw just about anything with ink, and so therefore, this droid creates itself using ink. Now, I don't know the full extent to it. So, like, can ink drop become something just by seeing a picture of it, or does it need to have touched it, or does it need to have like a certain amount of knowledge of it to transform? I don't know. None of that was told within this chapter, but that's all we get from Inktra. So moving on, we get James. So James is there now. He's unimpressed with Nick's performance dealing with the droid. It's like if this was the real James would have been dead. And just kept saying that over and over again in like different ways or forms. And you have Nick, and it's like I did the right for my first time. You know, don't be too hard on me. Like I did good, and then eventually Nick's like, you know what, I need to do better. I need to get stronger. And then it leads to James telling Jess, Rank, and Kaz to leave so he can train. Now he actually has been training. I think a month passes, and so I don't. Maybe they went and visited, but they haven't seen Nick for a month, and they have gone back to school now. I'm going to talk about the school now. I'm going to go into this about their school now. So in chapter 1, we see they go to school. Now, this school is not a normal school. it is school for, I guess, people with special abilities. Now, when I say not special abilities, special people. Now, when I say special people, I mean vampires, I mean werewolves. In this chapter, we get some fairies and such and forth, all sorts of magical or different realm creatures. But for the sake of Nick, all these years, the school has been acting as a normal school. Now, when I read that, I was like, ooh, is this really realistic? Could a whole school, granted, I don't know how many pupils are in this whole school, could pull off something of this magnitude? And again, I don't know how many pupils are in this school, but someone should have slipped up along the lines. Maybe not Kaz, Rang, Fang, Jess, because they're the closest around to Nick. They was probably always with Nick. But what I'm trying to get at is that imagine you're just walking in school. You'll be walking down a school corridor normal, and then you will catch something that you wasn't supposed to see. So what I'm trying to say here, maybe one day Nick left the class to go toilet, so he was walking along his way. So he came across somebody using their abilities as it like not even as a slip up. They just thought Nick wasn't within the city, so it would be okay to quickly use their abilities to make whatever they're doing quicker. So they did that. So that's kind of my problem with the whole of the fact that the whole school was a cover up situation. I personally would have preferred it if they went to a normal school. Nick, Rang Fang, Jess, and Kaz, they went to a normal school and they were playing cover. So Jess, Rang Fang, and Kaz, they were playing cover rather than have a whole school do it. That seems more realistic and more advisable, in my personal opinion. Throughout this chapter, we've got Jess doing a lot of worrying about Nick, and I'm thinking why. And this leads to something that I was supposed to do in the theory video that I'm sorry that I don't think is going to come to light now. But I think that there's something that we haven't been told. I think there's a prophecy which links to why Nick has to save the world and why Kaz, Jess, and Rang Fang are so heavily involved. Again, in my theory video that was supposed to come out, there was a page where Kaz mentions we're with you no matter what, and there was another page in the earlier chapter where James is like, what are you not telling them, such and such. So I think there is more to why Jess worries so much about Nick that we haven't been told yet. But within the chapter, she's just mentioning how much Nick has changed as a person. He's grown up as a person, regardless of what he's just found out. So moving on as well, we have the bit with James. Now, James, James is he was there in I think it was London, and he's just there undercover reading the newspaper. And he had the beanie. I swear he had the beanie hat on, and it was just quite funny. And he's just there undercover. Now he's reading the newspaper, and he has a hunch that these guys, and when I say these guys, I mean Jess, Nick, the main cast. He has a hunch that they're gonna be at this event, and I'm thinking to myself, how did you know that? Why do you have this hunch? Is it like because it couldn't be something that they do like they did on a regular basis? Because that would mean on a regular basis, like say this event was once a year, that they would leave a nick out or something. So it was kind of like a how and why kind of thing going on there. But regardless of all that, he has a hunch that they're going to be at this event, and he actually is right. They plan to go to this event to kind of cheer up Nick, I think it was. But he's like, I can't go personally because they'd be expecting me. So he makes this phone call. So, in case you didn't know, that this chapter is the start of the bounty hunter arc. I knew this from earlier on. So, what I personally thought, seeing bounty hunter in the title, I automatically assumed that Nick and the cast were going to be wanted people and would have bounties on their head, but that doesn't seem to be the case. It only seems that Nick is the only one wanted. He'll get James will pay the bounty hunter a price. I don't know what the price is, but I did have ideas of prices in the theory video that I was supposed to do. Again, I'm sorry for not bringing that out. but it seems that he's wanted only alive. So again, that leads to something else that I was going to say within the theory video, which was about how Nick, kind of similar to Naruto, when Naruto had the nine-tailed demon fox within him. I think Nick also has something within him, and that would lead to why they need him alive. If he's dead, he maybe can't get the thing out, or maybe the thing dies along with him. So yeah, that is all that the Bounty Hunter said, yeah, okay, I'll do that for you, and that was just the start of the Bounty Hunter arc. Again, it was a good chapter. Did not expect that at the very beginning with it not being James. We had the whole school scene. We did meet two new characters within this chapter. Lance a lot, a blind, knight, and now it's not it's not James's fault. It's nobody's fault again. It's just become the norm. I personally think that it's become the norm to when you have a blind character, that just automatically means all the other senses enhanced, and that's why they can do things. So that's what I'm assuming that we're gonna get with Lancelot. Again, that's not James's fault. It's just stereotypical, not just in anime, but just all blind characters. I dare you to name me a blind character who doesn't have the other senses enhanced. But we also had what was her name? I think it was Rim. She is a fairy princess and she can heal. These two characters, I do believe, are going to be the secondary characters. No, in every series we have the bunch of secondary characters. In Naruto, we got Rock Lee, Shino, all the other teams. You know who I'm talking about? Choji, all them. In Dragon Ball, we have Krillin, we've got Piccolo, we've got Tien, we've got Yamcha, we've got all of them as well. So I do believe that these two characters are the start of possibly quite a few secondary characters that we might get within Vamp the Lost Soul. That I do believe is now everything I wanted to say on this chapter. I'll give it a 3. It was a good start to what could possibly be a good arc. Like always, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. But most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.